Blessed ones of the nations of the world. This is your brother Moses or say your Sakodi of TRC, Ghana. Coming to you with this special episode of the Exposé's Testimony New World Disorder. Before we begin, we want to welcome each other by saying Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome, Nganjoni, Benvindo. You are welcome, Kuso, Diwo, Tusanyu Senyor, Okukulaba, Mauya, Mingalaba, Boye, Malamu, Karibu, Ekabo, No, O, Salon de Zua, Enkwande, Ena, Mitash, Duburo, Pejaluvat, Bine I Vinit, Barigalut, Vita Iche, Ayubon, Dobridoya, welcome, Eshtan, Hozot, Walang Anuman, bienvenido, namaste, swagetam, kush, amadid, Baruch, haba, marhaba, Hwangyong haminida, Hwangying, Nyejeko, Anemime, Nyejeko, We Zolo, Novio, Miao, Wezo, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder, which program we know to be the program by which we get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity and the nations of the world in these times of global man-made Jacob's trouble of that we trust, invented by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world. And yet they are the very people that are dealing with us by willful lies, deception and delusion, having brought humanity and the nations of the world into this total global helplessness, which I call man-made Jacob's trouble. Humanity and the nations of the world, we understand that it is not what we are seeing now in your nation, on the nations of the world, is just in a pipeline to the ultimate agenda, which is the coming after your soul, my soul, the souls of humanity and of the nations of the world. That is their ulterior motive, the agenda which is being pushed against humanity for now. As in our time, currently, that is what they are doing. Every other thing that is happening, whether pandemic or whatever it is, they are all diversionary tactics and to shift our attention from what is being done to humanity. So, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder, but we are not moved in the sense that by the grace of God, we as well get to receive some divine guide, divine direction, divine insight that we may know what to do in the face of this global helplessness of man-made Jacob's trouble. It was made by men willfully. They did this to us. That's why we call it man-made Jacob's trouble. If you want to know what Jacob's trouble is a terrible moment that the Bible says is going to come upon this earth with if you are a Christian, if you are a Jew, we are going to be the most affected people. It's described in Jeremiah 30 verse 7. That's why we need to understand that if it is you are a Christian, you are a Jew, you are a Muslim, you are a atheist, that any evil is being done to a Christian, a Judaist, a Muslim, an atheist, once a member of the human race, you need to voice out, because we are all involved, we are all at stake in this terrible times. So we need to be there for each other as members of the human race. So Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder, humanity and the nations of the world. So from the exposés that we received this May the 5th 2021 Wednesday, this is being recorded on Wednesday as well for the days ahead. So from the exposé received on Monday morning, this is being recorded in the evening. What we received was recorded on Tuesday, so this is being recorded on Wednesday after we have received what we had. So Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening is when we are from the one we watched from this Wednesday morning. we have gotten it clear that Mr. John Ejekum Kufuor, the dangerous criminal Moses Alobu, they sold my precious soul out to get me destroyed. It sold me unto death in a foreign land, right in my nation, to a foreign land to get me destroyed. Before His Excellency Mr. John Ejekum Kufuor's office came to an end in 2008, Ghana, our nation, had been sold totally into doom and destruction by these political wicked minds and their diplomatic counterpart, oil greedy diplomatic oil greedy minds of the Ghana Embassy, Washington DC ambassador. They do say they have sold our nation out, and my precious life was what they were using for the next global agenda after Osama bin Laden. So humanity and the nations of the world, except for God being my help, you know that I should not be alive today. Many are those who have been killed, but God spared my life that we might know what is happening to us. So I'm much grateful to God for my life, and it's tragic that precious Ghanaians and innocent of the nations of the world have been destroyed. They have been killed, but it is well. God knows what He's doing, and I'm much grateful to God for my life. Akufo to the program Testimony New World Disorder. Humanity and the nations of the world. So we understand that the politicized national security of Ghana, the BNI, the Ghana Police Service, they have all been colluding. They have colluded with this dangerous criminal Moses Alobu and the government of Addo, the government of John Ejekum Kufuor, to bring our nation into this current state. That is why you have seen the national security, the Ghana Police Service, the BNI, the CID, because of their willful involvement in with the John Ejekum Kufuor's government and the Moses Alobu dangerous guy, because of the money that they have made. They continue up to this day, must continue to terrorize me, seek to get me assassinated, to cover up their crimes against their own nation. This is a total betrayal of the state. But I'm not moved at all. I know God is in control. Humanity and the nations of the world. So let's get that understanding, and let's go forward with more exposés. We know that we understand that George Kofi Ofori, he is an individual that is well known, just like Moses Alobu. He is a dangerous criminal that is well known to the national security of Ghana, the politicized national security, the BNI permutation, NIB, the Ghana Police Service top ranking. They are all colluded in covering up of the crime of Moses Alobu and this George Kofi Ofori. Let's watch him. That we know that he's not a spirit, he's not a ghost. When I said a ghost, Barack Obama is laughing at the Washington DC. Obama, we are not talking about a ghost, you know. George Kofi Ofori, he is this individual that they see. Yeah. He was the individual that was arrested by the security operatives of Ghana, the BNI, National Security, all of them, and because I must be the one that must be killed, they must give me over to be killed. All the criminals must be protected, their crime must be covered up. They willfully set him free, flew him out of Ghana to US secretly, behind the administration of His Excellency John Evans Fipi Atamils, whose government they had hijacked. Nana Addo Akufo Addo, they have hijacked, would not let the nation run until Akufo Addo has taken over the throne of Ghana. Akwa to the program testimony. So we know George Kofi Ofori is not a ghost. He's a human being who the security operatives, Ghana Police Service, all of them, just like they aided Moses Alobu to put his crime on me, they must put the crime of this individual on me and get him, set him free, so they get me killed. So Ghana, Akwa to the program, he was disorder. We had known that on the Ghana Airways, staff of the Ghana Airways have sold me out. They have gotten me on the Ghana Airways, taking me to the US. Let's know what happens. What happened next? Before I got to the US, before I flew out, I had to. Moses Alobu had contacted his cousin, Patrick Kitche, who was in the US. They had discussed that he will be picking me at the airport and I'll be going to stay with him for a while until I get settled down. And it was all part of the plot. I got to the US at the airport, Baltimore International Airport, and not knowing who to come pick me from the airport was even a problem, because Moses Alobu, John Ejikun, all the crime sticks, the Ghana Airways staff, they all knew that they have sold me out unto death, so they didn't know how God was going to deliver me. They have made Patrick Kitche, the brother, the cousin of Moses Alobu, to refuse tactically not to come show up at the airport to come pick me. So he has pulled strings and had rather made the cousin of George Kofi Ofori, who was living in Baltimore, Maryland. His name is Roy. Yeah, this is Cowboy. That is how the friends call me when I was in Ghana. So, yeah. So Roy, yeah, they had to let Roy put their evil on they have said they pushed Roy to come pick me up at the airport. So after God helped me, I've gone through security. I come out and Roy, instead of Patrick, Roy was there. Roy didn't know some of the treachery that they had played to him. So he picks me there, takes me to his home, and at the home, Roy had to be making phone contact calls, and he had not offered to let me come live in his home. So he just was made to come pick me at the airport, while the other stakes, they are playing hide. They are being hideout. They don't want to show their face. So the next day, all throughout the night, that Roy was making calls, talking on the phone, and so the long and short of it all is, I must be. He has brought me to his home. I must be taken out of the home, and so those that offered Moses Alobu, Patrick Kitche, the stakes should make sure they are taking me to where they want to host me at. It was a terrible time. So the next morning, the next day, Patrick Kitche shows up and comes to pick me from the home. off. I think the next 2 days after, to his home. But they knowing that it is not all over, Patrick Kitche had to, at the home, there was a rift. He had a roommate and who was married to a Muslim that was married to a Christian, and all of a sudden, rift, confusion, chaos at the home, fight between the Muslim and the wife, Christian, and it was a scene that they had to let me find a place to go live. So what had happened was, there was this individual, a so-called pastor, Joseph Kofi Eshen of Atlanta, Georgia. He was my colleague, student at the Commander College. When I was about leaving Ghana to the US, he was one of the individuals that I contacted as I would need a place to stay when I come, and I even has asked him for a little financial help if he could get me some money, because I'm going, if you get me something a little on me as I'm traveling to the place. You know what? A pastor, he had told me he just sent, I contacted him by email. He just responded by, if I get to the US, I should call him. I mean, he was not prepared to help me, but I got to the US and I was in that difficulty. I was compelled to call him. I called him and he tells me, I was in Patrick Kitche's home, a cousin of Osisa Lobo. He tells me, come, they should let me come to him from the state of Maryland to Atlanta, Georgia. Ghana, as treacherous as so-called Pastor Kofi Eshen, who I would call a brother in the Lord, that we have served the Lord together on campus. He became one of the major minds that was used by John Kufuor's government, the Ghana embassy, the crime sticks, to willfully make up lies. You see, as I've gotten to US, the rest would have to be the Ghana embassy, John Kufuor's government, the intelligence community, which they used to sell me out. They had to collude with the John Kufuor's George Bush's government, with the FBI, CIA. They must build willful false evidence against me to justify the reason why they must hold me as a terrorist. I'm a dangerous person, I'm the most salable guy. So they were building false evidence using false witnesses. The Pastor Kofi Eshen is one major, Commander Khalid is one major individual that was used by the government of John Kufuor and the crime network to put me into this terrible situation in America. It's all good. It's all about money. The general reward was money, mansions, and cars. So all they needed is any individual that is willing to falsely testify, to post me as a dangerous guy. I'm the Moses Alobu guy. They know me. You make your money, mansions, and cars, and so it's also about, in America or Europe or other nations of the world, for immigrants to be snitching, selling their fellow immigrants out to the intelligence. It's a common thing. So I was sold right in Ghana. I got to America, and from flying pan to the fire. So Pastor so-called Joseph Kofi Eshen made me travel on Greyhound, a bus, for almost 20 hours together with the transit here and there. It's in US. The nation is very big. You can travel for 3 days from one region if you've been the buses traveling continuous. It's a huge country, you know. So I got to George, Pastor, so-called Joseph Kofi Eshen. I got to him, and not even his roommate was he able to tell that he has invited me and I'm coming to be his guest. He's hosting me. I get to his home, and in America, people want their privacy, you know. So I was not surprised when Patrick Kitche, he took me to the home, and battle started breaking out between the Muslim. He was called Apisco. Those who went to Presec, you know him, Apisco. He got married to a Christian, and you see, there were strings being pulled behind by this political diplomatic from Ghana, and so little did I know that the challenges that I was going to, they were pulling the. It was later that God helped me, and so I got to Joseph Kofi Eshen in Atlanta, Georgia, after I've traveled for almost 20 hours, no sleep. I got there, and he had not even informed his roommate. So another quarrel at the home. The roommate was demanding that I should be made to go back because Joseph Kofi Eshen didn't tell him. So it was so ugly that I had to call Patrick Kitche, let him know what was happening. So I had to go back. If not even my bus fare was Kofi Eshen able to buy a bus ticket for me to go back. He didn't do that. So the same Patrick Kitche, they have to organize and find me, get me a ticket back. I got back to the state of Maryland. So it was like for like the first 2 months of me, so I was hanging on uncertainty. I was not even settled where to, who to host me was even a problem. Eventually, my uncle, Nana Edubofo-Jan, who was the friend of John Akufo, whom I call my father, who raised me in Tema. He had been he was in US at the time, before I got to the US. So I had to tell him of my challenge, not having a place to live. And he had a home that he had rented. He was a roommate with somebody, but his job was such that he wasn't leaving the home, so he asked me to go occupy his room. I got to the home, and his roommate was by name Mr. Amankwa. He had a son called Kofi Amankwa. So they had to do everything to make sure that, you see, one, jealousy, envy. They were thinking that I would never get to the soil of America. I would be deported, or and I would be arrested and put in jail. And so when I got there, they all had to collude and they had to tear me down. So at the home, the son, Kofi Amankwa, had to trouble me. They don't want me to. They are not paying the rent. They are in their room. I'm also in my room. Yet, they trouble me. I have to leave the home. So eventually, George, Patrick Kitche. It was all part of the networking and the game that they were playing. Patrick Kitche had to tell me, George Kofi Ofori in the state of Kentucky wants me to come, the cousin of Roger Texan. So you see the game that was being played. Now Roy couldn't host me. Now the cousin of Roy in Lexington, Kentucky wants me to come, and he even has a document that he would want to support me, so I work with the document. If you go to Europe, wherever where job acquisition is strictly based on your work permit and your legal status in the country to be able to work, you have to work with somebody's document. They know. In US they know, in Europe they know that this happens, but these are all part of the immigrant struggle. So I eventually got to, the network got me to George Kofi Ofori in Lexington, Kentucky, Ghana. He said when blessings are coming, they come in chains. When troubles are coming, they come in multiple. Ghana, it's been 15 years, over 15 years, when John Ejekunkofo, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, Mahamudu Bawumia, diplomatic state, political, they have subjected me to death in a foreign land. Up to this very day, since 2000, when I traveled, 2004, when I traveled outside, up to this very day. So I got to George Kofi Ofori. I didn't know that he was a federal criminal, committed crimes against the state that could put him in jail forever. And as smart as he was being, they must find me, put the crimes of people on me, build false evidence enough to hold me as a terrorist and to get me killed. So I got to, I didn't know that George Kofi Ofori had a guest in Lexington, Kentucky. His name was Moses Ofori. Moses Ofori. He was in AF Road, Tema Community 4. They used to live in the same road with George Kofi. This is George Kofi Ofori, but the other one is Moses Ofori, a very nice Christian brother. In America, he got to America before I got to America. He was there, and he had been there, and he was hosted by this. In America, he fell into a problem of a high school lady having falsely accused him of rape. That is Kofi Ofori. So he was arrested, and he could have gone to jail for life. In America, the police, it is known to the FBI, the police service, the American people, whether black or white, they know that these are one of the challenges that we go through as black people in the land. You could be set up by the police. They can put you in jail for 50 years. Eventually, they come back to tell you that they realize that you are innocent. They have wasted you 50 years in jail. Some have been 30 years, 40 years. This situation that is real, that is happening to many in the land of America. So they set George Kofi, Moses Ofori up. And don't you forget, it was Moses Salobu that set me up into that. And when I was in Ghana, Moses is my legal name, my name. So I got to George Kofi Ofori's home, and as at then, George Kofi Ofori had been able to, he bailed Moses Ofori from the prison and let him fled the US to Ghana. So as he had made him to flee, you have bailed somebody, you have made him to flee the country. He was going to be held for that crime. I got to the home, and George Kofi Ofori had also engaged in crimes such as federal crimes, such as owning 2 social security numbers, 2 2 driver's license. He was just like just like Moses Alobu, doing fake documents here and there. So, and in the US, he could go to jail for that. He gave those documents to Moses Ofori to work with. Like everybody that, if you go to America as a new Ghanaian, he uses that document, get you to work, and at the end of the tax season, you file for your tax, and then he'll go take the money, you know. So he had made George Kofi Ofori, Moses Ofori work with that document. I got to the US. He had made Moses Ofori flee back to Ghana. I got to fall into the trap. So what he had to do to play with the US Police Service, the FBI, they must pose as though I am the Moses Ofori who had committed the crime of rape and had fled to Ghana and I'm back. You understand? So they were building false report upon false report that would be based on to holding me as a terrorist and to before they had to bring in the US undercover agent. So that was such dangerous attempt that General Akumkofo's government was doing with my innocent life. So Ghana Humanity, Akufo to the program, testimony, new world, this or that. I started working with George Kofi Ofori's document. And God helped me. Within the matter of a few months, under 1 year, I was able to work to come pay back the money that my uncle Nana Daniel Opokweje helped me with. He thought that he was helping me out of genuine-heartedness and not knowing it was a dangerous plot that I had fallen in with Ghana and Ghana Airways, John Adekunku Force clerks, and Ghana Police Service, BNI, and all those people. So God helped me. Under 1 year, I was able to come pay his money, $2,100 as so Ghana. I was way back in Ghana. I was the type that very, very hardworking. I was a school teacher. Beside that, I was running my ministry. At the point I started running youth ministry, I was going to the north to go bring smoke and northern cloth. I was running my own clothing shop as well. So Ghana, Humanity and the Nations of the World, Akufo to the program, testimony, new world, disorder. God helped me. God helped me. I was able to, within a matter of 5 months, because of the danger that George Kofi Ofori had put me into, I have to move out of it. So go settle down, rent an apartment. I had a home, well furnished. I was able to come pay the money that Mr. Nana Daniel Opokweje, my uncle, helped me out with. So Ghana, it was faced a situation of death, but amidst all that, the hand of God was with me, and His grace was keeping me out of the death. Let's go to the part 2 and continue. God bless you. God bless my homeland, Ghana. Occupy till I come is what I receive, and I leave it to you. Part 2.